Mabuya. Hello and welcome back to the Garifuna Experience Podcast. I'm your host, José Francisco Ávila. This episode is part of our ongoing special series, Hidden Voices, the Garifuna demographic, undercounted and underrepresented. Today we are shifting to a topic absolutely critical for our community's future, defining the New York City Garifuna Community of Interest profile. The goal is to change the way the Garifuna community is primarily viewed, moving from a focus on cultural identity to a distinct demographic and political category for data collection and representation. The ultimate goal is for the Garifuna community to be able to self-identify and advocate for its interests and to prepare for the 2031 Decennial Redistricting by defining the boundaries of the New York City Garifuna of Interest profile to pursue Garifuna electoral districts. The power of a community of interest. A community of interest is a group of people in the same geographically definable area who share common social and economic interests. They have a shared culture, characteristics, or bond. Communities of interest are used in drawing electoral districts to ensure that groups with shared interests can be represented fairly. One of the primary goals of this process is to keep communities together within each district. In addition, a community must be geographic in nature and able to be mapped. There must be density within the community. Redistricting happens only once every 10 years, and it is imperative for us to make our community's voice is heard. As we continue to uplift and advocate for our vibrant and diverse Garifuna demographic all year long. This decennial process, mandated by the Constitution after the U.S. Census, ensures districts reflect population shifts. The data is delivered to states in the years ending in ones, i.e. 2031, and directly dictates power and resource allocation for the next decade, 2040. Mapping our destiny, the Bronx as epicenter. The New York City Garifuna are not a monolith, despite many feeling like they've been forced into a box. More importantly, the New York City Garifuna community hopes to thrive as its own voting and power bloc in future decades. A pathway many of New York's immigrant communities have followed since their own diaspora and immigrations. New York City Garifuna population snapshot. New York City total estimates 200,000 to over 250,000 Garifuna people. Bronx concentration. Over half of the New York City total Garifuna population, 100,000 plus stronghold, resides in the Bronx. Settlement history. Migration began in the 1930s. Key Bronx corridors, South Bronx, and areas around Crotona Park. These numbers highlight the size and geographic concentration that forms the basic for advocating for a distinct community of interest profile. For us, defining the boundaries means identifying areas like Tremont Avenue to the north, 135th Street to the south, Webster Avenue to the east, and Bruckner Boulevard to the west, the core that defines our geographic community of interest. From cultural identity to demographic political power, we know the Garifuna community faces significant challenges in achieving an accurate count in the U.S. Census because our Afro-Indigenous identity does not fit neatly into the rigid categories. This undercount has hidden our true strength, the identity challenge. We are forced to choose between Hispanic or Latino and writing in Honduran, Nicaraguan, or Guatemalan, and Black or African American, fragmenting our data. The progress of 2020, advocacy for the 2010 census ensured the 2020 census finally added specific codes for Garifuna and Afro-Latino responses. But this is just the beginning. The direct political implication of this historical undercount is reduced visibility. underrepresentation, and a lower share of federal funding for our neighborhoods. The effort to define the Garifuna Community of Interest profile is our attempt to correct this historical injustice. By 2032, the centennial of Garifuna settlement in New York City, we aim to reach a major benchmark for any community, Garifuna political representation. The Garifuna people have a history of organization from the Carib Wars of St. Vincent to forming orderly alliances in Central America and in the U.S. through the Merchant Marines and civil society organizations. We are an Afro-Indigenous diaspora ethnic group with a powerful legacy. We are not just a culture to be celebrated. We are a voting and power bloc ready to be activated. We invite the Garifuna diaspora to join us in representing the collective interests of 250,000 Garifuna New Yorkers across critical issue areas such as housing, immigrant integration, mental health, economic development, and civic engagement. Let's work together to make sure the Garifuna community remains visible. Our needs are addressed, our contributions are valued, and our community is respected. By building Garifuna political power, we are confident that this mobilization will allow us to empower and transform the New York City Garifuna community to thrive. And that wraps up another illuminating episode of the Garifuna Experience podcast. Thank you for listening, and remember this vital message. The future of the Garifuna people is in our hands. By defining the New York City Garifuna Community of Interest profile, and demanding a complete count, we are driving power, prosperity, and progress for our community. Until next time, stay united, stay proud, Sungube Lida Aba. Ayo. Find new episodes of the Garifuna Experience podcast every Tuesday. Follow the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, and iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, or review the Garifuna Experience podcast. Your support helps us share our vital Garifuna experience with more people around the world.